Hey guys, we're on our first car trip of the year. We're in Miami, Florida, outside of Prestige Imports, one of probably the coolest car dealerships in the world. We're going to go inside. I have no idea what's in there. We're just stopping by. Today we're going to check out what's around Miami, dealerships around the streets, cool parking lots, you know, see what we can find. But we're going to be here for the next 4 days. I'm going to pump out a video every day. And actually today is exactly 3 years since I started my YouTube channel, and I really appreciate all the support you guys have given me. If you guys can like this video, subscribe, watch as much of it as you can, I'd really appreciate it. But I'm going to keep giving you guys as good content as I've been giving you. I'm going to try to do even better. You know, not living the car, but we're going to see cars out in the wild this trip. We're going to maybe even be in for rides in some cars, but just follow along. So before we even go inside, I don't really know what's going on, but what I do know is that's probably the first Lotus Emira customer car that I've ever seen, especially in North America. Nobody that I know of got deliveries yet. The next to that, you know, the off-road 911 of the car in the full kind of livery with the white wheels. There's a full lineup of STOs right there. We can go take a look at that after, but I am sure you guys would want me to go inside there and take a look at some of the real cars that they have here. But yeah, first Lotus Emira that I've been seeing, but it's actually a pretty cool car. The only thing is, my only problem with it is I feel like it was kind of a relevant car 3 to 4 years ago, and by the time they got on the roads, the competition was just so much better, and I think the demand for them really dropped. I know a lot of canceled orders. Hopefully they're actually as good to drive as they seem, but you know, I think a car came a little bit too late. Okay, so here we have something you definitely don't see often in a lot of showrooms, and I don't think I've ever even seen a picture of one in this color. This is the Hennessy F5. Next time we saw it last year, but it's the Bugatti Divo. Very cool, one of 40 ever made, I believe, kind of a track version of the Chiron. Then the next 3 cars are actually technically Canadian owned, but they're here. Got this baby blue Ford GT with the carbon fiber stripes. Then this Lexus LFA, we actually saw at RM Sotheby's this year. I believe it's delivery mileage, white interior with red accents in the interior. Such a cool car. And this color shift McLaren P1. What cool cars, like in this color. I mean, it's probably the only one in existence that looks like this. Next to that, we got this white with blue McLaren Senna. And then we have a Pista and some F8s and 48s. Sorry for the loud noise there, moving around some cars. As you can see, there's more stuff to look at right there. So the noise that is being made right now is being made by Gunther Works over there, but being moved outside. So instead, we'll look at this one right here, which is a Roadster. These cars are so cool, kind of a more modern take on something like a Singer, mostly based on 993s, but look at the interiors. There's nothing like the interior of a Gunther Works. The bucket seats, everything looks incredible. And then this green with these kind of like cool mirrors, just what a cool build. I don't know too much about them, but they're the coolest looking cars. Then we have a lineup of 4 Paganis. We have this Tempesta Pack 2 full carbon body Wyra coupe, this orange Wyra Roadster right here, another Wyra Roadster full carbon body with some red accents. And then here we have something that looks like the press car spec, might be the press car Wyra Roadster BC. Oh, and the other Gunther Works is moving in. The crazy cars don't stop there. Here we have a Sport Classic next to a new GT3 RS, but here, you know, you might think it's just 2 SLRs, a Roadster, and a coupe, but that's not exactly the case. This is 722S, which means the 722 version Roadster is more power, a lot more carbon. You can see in the bottom right here, the full carbon diffuser has different wheels. Only 150 of these made and another 150 coupes. But yeah, next has the classic McLaren SLR that we know and love, the silver on red, typical spec. But here is this Chiron Porsche Sport, silver two-tone, very, very cool car. Honestly, again, kind of like a track version of the Chiron, not as hardcore as the Divo, but you know, I like that a lot of people are going for these. Then a full, I guess, race car Huracan. Don't know too much about these, but yeah, pretty good showroom. It looks like they're in the middle of moving stuff out. Also Zagato, Aston Martin, not bad at all. Honestly, a pretty good day to come, but stick around because today's gonna be a lot more stuff. Miami never ever ever disappoints for cars. Also, before I forget, we got this Lancia Delta Integrale. I'm pretty sure this is some type of resto mod. Looks like it. Full carbon fiber front, but this thing looks so good. These wheels are amazing. Full red bucket seat Alcantara interior. They're huge. But yeah, it looks so cool. I'd love to rip around in something like this. I feel like it would be so fun. Probably such a good handling car. Maybe not a lot of power, but you know, such a cool thing. So I didn't even notice that this blue GT3 RS has red rims, but the yellow carbon ceramics. Honestly, it's not that bad. Maybe I wouldn't do the yellow calipers, but here coming is the Heritage Edition, the white with the green, the launch spec on the GT3 RS. Probably my favorite on the GT3 RS. Just the green contrasted so nicely. Now, before we head out of here, this is one of the final edition V12 Maybachs, S680, blue wheels, blue two-tone with this gold. But what do you guys think of the interior? Look at the door panels here, like the design of the interior and on the pillows. Do you guys like it? Do you guys think this car is a little bit overdone? Then here we have a little lineup outside of a few STOs, you know, no big deal, just 6. And then we have 48s, Aventadors, all that stuff outside. It's kind of your regular cars. There's a Dawn right here, but that's Prestige Imports, which is honestly one of the best dealerships in the world. But if you guys think this is good, the place we're going to go to next is my personal favorite dealership in the world and has some of the most special cars you'll ever see. So stay tuned. So earlier we were at Prestige Imports and I said it's one of the best car dealerships in the world. And I was very specific about that because right now we're at my favorite car dealership in the world. As you can see, just what's outside, Diablo SV. This is more vintage type of cars. We're Curated in Miami. Personally, my favorite dealership with my favorite type of cars. You guys might like the modern stuff from Prestige Imports better, but I gotta show you what's inside. So the reason I say that these cars are just so much more special, at least to me, than any of these new cars that we saw at Prestige is, look, BMW M1, kind of the most normal car here, and this is such a rare car, the first kind of M car. Then a black Diablo GT with a roof scoop, but look at this. See, this is something you're not going to see anywhere else. It's the Lamborghini, I think it's the Gallardo S or Spider. It's the concept. I think originally it was a Canadian car. Never really made it to production, but someone did own this car. Now it's here for sale. Here we have a green Diablo SC30. I think the only one in this color. Bugatti EB110 Super Sport. A white Diablo GT. A manual 355. Just every car here is so unique and so different than any other one made. It's about the specs, about the story, it's about everything with these cars. Countach right here, 25th anniversary. Next to that is this Diablo GT2, the only Diablo GT2 ever made. Here we have a roof RTR, like a real legit roof, not just the badges, nothing like that. Full-on car built by Roof. Then Veyron 16.4, you know, the classic black spec. You actually see a lot of them in this spec, but still a very cool car. Diablo VT Coupe in red. We have this new 4GT, but the cool thing about this one is it's got kind of the common spec from the 06, the tungsten gray with the silver stripes. It's very common in the 06s, you never see them on the new one. Then you have a 512 TR, a Murcielago Roadster manual. I mean, they only started the Murcielago Roadsters in 05, and 05 was the first year of the E-Gear. But if you chose to get the gated manual car, you're a real car guy, and it's so hard to find, and it's just so special and so rare to see a manual one. There's here this black Miura that was kind of wide-bodied back in the day in the 70s, but it's just kind of like a driver's car, cool build that someone did back when this car was decently new, and it's still preserved that same way today. Next to that is this blue Diablo VT Roadster, and actually, I suspect that this might be a car that my next door neighbor owned about 10 years ago. The spec perfectly matches. I can't see there being too many of them in this spec. Then here, come on. Centenario, 120, full carbon body. I think only 3 coupes and 3 Roadsters were full carbon body, if I'm not mistaken. Next to that, LP640 Roadster. Would not be surprised if it's manual. This one's actually E-Gear, but still, LP640 Roadster, one of the best looking cars, aged so well, and yeah, just everything here is so special. Another Murcielago right here, manual as well, in orange, and a Vector. Let's go take a look at the Vector. I mean, this Vector looks absolutely crazy. Like, nobody really knows much about these. I think they have like 3-speed transmissions, and again, I really don't know much about it, but it's one of the coolest looking cars you can see. Then we have a 355. I think it's a challenge car, if I'm not mistaken. Like, just everything here is so special. Miura SV, come on. Freaking Miura SV, AMG Hammer, like Testarossa Spider, another Countach, and a Yalpa right there. There's nowhere in the world where you're gonna find a showroom like this with just every car is so unique and has a story of itself. So this is the rental car we got. It's an RT Charger. It's loud, but it's weirdly slow. We're at Shops of Bal Harbour, hoping to maybe see something at the valet. There's a 718 right here, but look at this parking job. And if you want to see, obviously, you know, perfect condition in the back, but yeah, that's what I call parking right there. Driver of the Year awards, gotta go to this guy. Front hitting the wall, back just, I don't know. I don't know what to say, but yeah. Things are starting to very slightly pick up here. We have an SVJ that just showed up in this blue, and a Huracan you can see right there. But again, still mostly here on the weekdays, you just kind of see the luxury cars. Like, I mean, look at how many Rolls Royces. But on the weekend, maybe we'll be back here on Sunday, and there might be a lot more cars. Usually on Sunday, we see really cool stuff here. But this SVJ is actually a really good spec with this light blue and kind of like a bronzish gold wheel. Orange caliper might be a little much, but I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. the orange caliper works or not, but a lot of carbon fiber on this car. Personally, I like the SV better, but nothing wrong with an SVJ. Well, soon this SVJ might become wingless because I don't know what's going on here, but there's literally a screw loose. Dawn, 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 Ghost, Cullinan, I think there's another one somewhere there, just non-stop Rolls Royces. Oh, Ghost. I've never seen a random parking lot with this many Rolls Royces. It's freaking insane. So guys, look at this. I just made a clip about the Dawns. Another one just showed up, and then I look back and look at this. Another one. This is like 6 Dawns in a parking lot. There's one here, I don't think I even saw this one. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, the one that was here. 5, 6. That's just Dawns. Oh, 7, never mind. 7 Dawns in this parking lot. What the hell? And then Ghost, Cullinans, like I've never seen this many Rolls Royces in my life. This is weird. So I'm sorry, let me just get out of the way of this Dawn, but this is not something you'd expect to see at like a luxury place. Yeah, it's an expensive car, but this is more like a car person car. We have a GTR in what color is this?
Hey, look at Gecko.
Where?
Right there.
Where?
Right there.
Oh yeah. Jason, what color is this?
This is a wrap.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's close to Millennium Jade, I guess, but it's not. And another Ghost and another Cullinan right there. And Bentayga here, Bentayga there, flying spur right here. I always think who buys these cars just depreciate like crazy. I guess they just all get sold right here. So surprise, surprise, there's another Dawn, but we heard about the car that pulled in here and we just found it. Are you ready for one of the rarest cars, one of my favorite cars, one of the best cars to drive? It's right here. 997 GT2 RS, the Widowmaker, 620 horsepower in a car this small, rear-wheel drive. This is like an absolutely crazy stripped out turbo, rear wheel drive. Like, this is such a rare car. Only 500 of these ever made. In my opinion, best 911 ever made. But, you know, everybody's got their different tastes. Some people like the 4.0, some people like the newer ones, the older ones. But let me know if you agree with me. This is the best 911, the best Porsche potentially ever made. What a crazy car. And if you don't know what it is, you won't get it. But absolute monster. It's called a Widowmaker for a reason. We saw a lot of Lambos today, we saw Ferraris, but man, there's just something about a 997 GT2 RS that blows my mind. I think if I could have one car, it's either a 3RS 4.0 or one of these. I mean, so much power. I haven't driven an RS, but again, exactly 3 years ago today was my first YouTube video, and I drove a 997 GT2, not an RS, in that video, and that was one of my favorite cars ever. So this is just more of that and better of that. So I mean, this has got to be one of my favorite cars. Now, if you ever want to tell between a fake or a real GT2 RS, a big way to do it, again, sometimes people fake it, but usually not. All GT2s, it's kind of a GT2 thing. They have these intakes right here under the spoiler. Whether it's 996, 993, or 997, they tend to just always have those. Usually people that fake it will not put that on. So yeah, me and Jason were just kind of having the discussion. I think it's kind of tough for both of us whether it'll be this or 4.0 GT3 RS, because both of us have driven the GT3 RS 3.8. We've both driven the GT2 non-RS, but I don't know, what do you think would be better, the 4.0 or the 2RS? It's a hard choice.
Choosing your favorite kid.
Yeah.
Or both.
I don't know. I'm going to vote for this. A little more rare. There's 100 units less of this, the 4.0 that made 600, but this is also just, you know, 100 horsepower more, or maybe even a little more than that. I don't know. It's just something about this is just so crazy. Wait for it. Wait for it.
That's a nice gray.
Yeah, A12 GTS.
That's a gray.
Nighttime, so we're probably going to go back to the hotel and end the vlog, but don't worry, before we finish, there's another Dawn.